Hello YouTube, this is Insane Monster, and we are here for part 4 of What If Deku Was a Blue Lantern. Now then, this was picked by the poll in the community tab, and if you want to learn about how I'm running my channel, please go look in the community tab for the other polls and an explanation to how it's being run. Okay, so with all that said, I do hope you will enjoy this. And before we start, hit it. Okay, now then, we start off with Izuku leaving for school as his mom states as he's leaving to have a good day. As she looks at Izuku smirking, she just can't help but feel proud as he smiles back, stating, "Gotcha." As he's walking over to the train station to get to school, he thinks about using his ring in order to fly there, but remembers that the ring is a source of great responsibility and power and not something to use just for a casual fly to school. As he sighs, he's getting somewhat used to flying with the ring, overly so, to the point to where walking seems somewhat tedious at this point. But he does so anyways because it's just easier to blend in that way without causing too much of a ruckus. As he goes underneath a bridge, a portal opens with Toga popping out, yelling, "Izuku!" hugging him. As he blushes a bit and asks, "Hey, looks like your uniform fits, huh?" As she backs up, stating, "I know, right? UA's having Midnight keep an eye on me since I don't actually live on Earth. Well, anymore, I guess." As Izuku states, "Yeah, that's one heck of a commute, huh?" "Not really, not as long as you're on Earth. As I have a connection to you, I can make a portal to wherever you are." As Izuku finds it fascinating and asks, "Is there anybody else you're able to make a portal to?" As he thinks, remarking, "There is one, though it's more of a sister-like person and a mentor. Someone that I probably wouldn't have been able to get a lot better than what I was back when you first met me and helped me out. Her name's Rhea, and she's really nice." As they get going, Toga asks Izuku, "So, do you mind calling me Himiko?" He blushes and remarking, Okay." As they head up the steps of UA, seeing the building, with realization of how huge this place is just when trying to find the classroom. Toga sighing, remarking, "Why is this place so big?" Izuku states, "Well, there's the hero course, which does take up a large amount of room, especially with those battlefields that we took the tests in. Then there's also general studies and support studies where they make where they learn and study for making hero support items. I would imagine that there's a good bit of mishaps that happen sometimes, not to mention the room required to create said objects, the business course, as he begins muttering with her chuckling, stating, it's adorable how much you just analyze things. As Izuku snaps back to reality and blushes, stating, hey, once they're able to see the sign for Class 1A, they hurry up and get to it. As they take a look and see that Bakugo is arguing with Ida on the first day. As they look over towards the door, they see the two individuals who each took down the 0-pointer. As Ida walks up to Izuku and states that he is a better student, that he recognized a hidden aspect of the exam about the hero points. Izuku states, oh, no. I just reacted, to be honest. Surprising Ida states, that only makes it more impressive. As he smirks, looking at Toga, thinking, oh yes, you were the other one who took down the 0-pointer. If I'm not mistaken from what I've heard, you have similar powers, but in very different colors. As they state, well, I mean, there are heroes and villains that, and a lot of people out there that have similar quirks. I mean, you remember like the water hose heroes, not to mention that there's quirks of multiple types for transformation and all that, even if it goes by different methods. As he thinks, remarking, yes, I suppose. That is true. Saving as Ochako walks in, stating, hey, you're the 0-pointer guy. Looking back, seeing Ochako. As Toga looks at him, he remarks, oh, she got hurt during the exam with the 0-pointer, so I destroyed it. I just kind of reacted. As he just laughs, stating, yeah, sounds like you. Bakugo wondering who this girl is. Not really recognizing who she is. Because this is Bakugo and he doesn't pay much attention to anybody else. But this is when Aizawa shows up, telling them that they should be quiet. Looking at the man inside of the bag, Toga states, caterpillar? As Aizawa gets out, stating, my name is To Aizawa, I'm going to be your homeroom teacher. As surprise across the whole classroom. Toga whispering to Izuku, hey Izuku, aren't all the teachers at UA pro heroes? Izuku remarked, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they're all heroes. Licensed ones at that. Referring to not retired ones. So yeah. With that, Aizawa gave him the information about they will be going to the sports field and taking a test for their quirk applications. Being surprised by this, wondering about orientations, of course he was asked, but he stated that this is UA and he has full freedom to run his class however he sees fit. So, as he pulled out the gym uniforms, he states, take a uniform and get changed, meet me in the field. As everyone was going to get changed, Ida looked at Izuku's ring again, remarking, so it's energy based from what I saw, correct? looking over at Ida saying, huh? Hiroshima asking, what are you talking about? This quirk. It seems to be some sort of multifaceted energy-based quirk, able to create light constructs out of energy, as well as empowering his own body, correct? As he states, yeah. This being somewhat true, power did flow through him from One for All, enhancing his physical strength, as the ring also produced energy to make the light constructs. But it's not like he can tell him all the details, given the fact that Earth hasn't really advanced enough to the point for space travel to know about the lantern cores in their full entirety. So it's pretty much a well-kept secret. And it'd be really confusing to try to explain all the details. With that, they hurry up and get changed, and they get talking. As the girls in the other room asked Toga about her ring, stating that it's a ring to focus her power into, since releasing a large amount of energy without something to help control it can be dangerous. Also going with the same reasoning that Izuku told her about whenever he was asked about the ring, seeming like the best choice. As Mina remarked, well, it looks so nice, admiring the Violet Lantern Core ring. Toga states thanks. As Momo mentioned, there's actually 21 students in our class. If I'm not mistaken, there's only supposed to be 20. As Toga gulped, remarking, that's probably because of me. There was, unique circumstances, so they had to somewhat work around it. I'm not sure what they chose was correct or not. I at least am grateful for it. As Mina poked, let me guess, it has something to do with the green-haired boy, right? What's his name? He introduced himself as Izuku Midoriya, right? Toga blushed as he says, yeah? As Mina figured her out real quick. Aha, you're dating! As he began to blush, causing all the girls to recognize that it was true. Which then just led to Toga, once changed, hurrying up and getting to the field. Afterwards, everyone met up at the field. Aizawa was given a bit of a rundown from the students that he had to keep an eye out for, as he was given information being privy to the knowledge of the Lantern Cores, wondering what to do about them. And also understanding that the Izuku quirk itself is quite destructive for his own body, which could be troublesome if not handled correctly. But he was told that he has a handle on a percentage of it, so it should be fine. As he explained what they'll be doing. They'll be doing basic exercises like what happened when they were in middle school, but they would be allowed to use their quirks. Tossing the ball to Izuku, he grabs it. Aizawa tells him to throw it. Gulping nervously, he steps up. As he winds back, thinking what he can do. He wants to try to push One for All a bit further. He did it, but with some cracked bones against the 0-pointer. But if he tries to push it just a little bit, as light began to emanate from the ring, creating a wrapping around his hand and arm, he charged up One for All and threw it, getting 15% with the current wrap, as it did break pretty instantly. The ball flew quite far, to the point of 1,500 meters estimate, surprising everyone, as Izuku looked at his arm thinking, man, that didn't really work out. All Might thinking after he saw this from a distance, remembering something that someone he knew made whenever he showed off his power, something that would contain the strength, but it probably wouldn't be able to hold up in its current state. So he sent a text to Hal and sent a text to that certain individual. Surprised by this, Bakugo scoffed as Izuku went back to the lineup, as Aizawa continued explaining that the one who comes in last place gets kicked out, shocking everybody, as they now had to go full force on this. For the test, they did do quite well, all things considered. Toga had to use her higher ability in agility and acrobatics a good bit, showing off, as he was impressing the other her classmates, finding that she finally has a enjoyable school life. As all the tests were done, and they had to deal with the broken grip sensors whenever Toga and Izuku made a construct to squeeze it instead of using their hands, resulting in breaking them. As this happened, Aizawa tallied up the points as Mineta was in last place. Mineta freaking out as he thought he would, I'm gonna get kicked out on the first day. Aizawa walked up to him stating, you were a bit too confident, and you thought that you can get by with just a quirk. It doesn't just take quirk to be a hero. It also takes the willpower, determination, and the skill. You're still young, so you can gain skill. But do you have the willpower and determination? Using willpower somewhat lightly in terms of this guy, as he just looks at Aizawa, just waiting to hear that he's going to be kicked out, as Aizawa states, well, lucky for you, you're not getting kicked out. As he reveals it was just a ploy to make them work extra hard so that they can give it their all. Shocking everybody as Mineta just collapsed on the ground from shock, relief, and for partially believing he just got kicked out on the first day. He was brought to Recovery Girl. As that was taken care of, Mina asked Toga if she would want to hang out with the girls, as she was right next to Izuku as they were leaving. She states, we got somewhere to go, as they wandered off, with Bakugo thinking, seriously, when did this happen? Ah, damn nerd. And who is she exactly? As they left, Toga asked, what should we do? Izuku remarked, well, there is some place I gotta go if you want to follow, but it's kind of, as he points up, he states, oh, okay. As they duck out to some place where nobody would see and power up their lantern outfits and begin to fly. passing by what looked like a Green Lantern Corps monitor. Toga asked, "Was that always there?" Izuku stating, "There are some intel about a red lantern ring, an orange lantern ring, and maybe a few yellow lanterns on Earth. So, yeah, given that, the Guardians are monitoring the planet, almost like a quarantine. It's mostly to keep anything outside from getting in, causing more trouble. Though that doesn't mean that rings can be stopped from going to Earth. But it's mostly to alert the Guardians for when something dangerous tries to leave the planet." He asks, can't they try tracking down the bad guys? As he explains the whole thing of what he knows about the main battery from the Orange Lantern being taken to Earth by the one who killed the previous Orange Lantern. He knew a little bit about the Orange Lanterns, but didn't realize that the Corps literally consisted of a single person. Or that that person could make basically light construct soldiers of whoever they killed, defeated, and etc. He remarked, "That's kinda terrifying." And the fact that whatever they're doing is keeping them from being found, even more so. As he sighs, remarking, "Yeah, doesn't help that the Green Lantern Corps is stretched thin dealing with rogue, yellow, and red lantern. So, us being on Earth tends to give the Guardians some relief and some, well, interest." As he does remember that Earth is actually one of the few planets that produce a number of Lantern Corps members from different corps in the same age of time. As they were coming up on the planet, it was the same planet that Izuku, Razor, and Kilowog helped save. Well, the planet that the village that they helped saved. As they land nearby a canyon river, Razor was there with Aya. As Razor looked, he states, yes, Hal told me about her." As Aya walked up, shaking Toga's hand, saying, "Greetings, I am Aya." As Toga asked, "What exactly are they doing here?" Razor explained the situation of what happened in this area and how they took care of it. But now that that's taken care of, they have to help. They're gonna help fix the dam. As she looked at Izuku, stating, "Really?" He shook his head, "Yes. The Green Lantern Corps more or less works as a police force, and sometimes we help them out, mostly in terms of, well, disaster-like events on parts of planets and such. So it's more like we're rescue and relief, kind of like that." Huh. So if the Green Lanterns are like the police, you guys are like the firefighters and the ambulances of the universe. Razor, understanding a little bit from what he was told about Earth from Hell, he understood what that meant, stating, "Somewhat, yes." As they take a look about what they can do. Turns out, the current river flow was flowing into the canyon, which was also a powerful river. A very, very deep canyon river. Overall, it is somewhat rocky area with large patches of dirt. Seems like the rocks just cover up most of the surface. As Toga takes a look, seeing that there isn't really any other village nearby, and there are also 3 other streams coming from what looks like a mountain area that splinter off in different directions and head off into the same canyon river that the one they're trying to put a dam on goes to. As he thinks, flying over, asking if he could suggest something, pointing out the 3 rivers that they have, no other villages nearby, and suggested something. Why don't we fix the dam to have an overflow and redirect those 2 rivers into this one for more water flow? And, dig out some of the land near the village to give like an area for water to flow and pool into. Razor smirked, stating, that's quite considerate of you. It would allow them to have easier access to water, especially considering the increase in water flow. Aya states, yes, and it wouldn't be that much of a problem for us to do. I agree with this. As Izuku smirked, stating, that's a great idea. Hime, blushing, as Toga smirked. So they get to work. Razor and Izuku went to one river while Toga and Aya went to the other. First off, they dug out, or more accurately, drilled out a separate way from the other rivers into the one in the middle that was going towards the village. Next, they used their rings to collapse the current path to block off the water and cause them to flow into the new path that they made. With that, the rush of water drastically increased. Once that was taken care of, Aya and Razor began on the dam, as Razor instructed Izuku and Toga to get situated with everything and fill in the village chief. Upon getting there, the village chief recognized Izuku, stating, "Young warrior." As Izuku nervously laughed, being tightly bear hugged by the very big Catman. As he looked over at Toga, stating, sniffing her. Is this one yours? Wondering what he meant by that, until Toga realized that and blushed, causing Izuku to blush too, stating, what exactly do you... I believe that he stated something about partner. I guess. As he followed the chief's finger to Razor and Aya, nervously laughing as they explained what they're going to be doing and what they already did. They didn't really disagree. The low flowing of water was always a bit of a problem. So they got to work, digging out large chunks of these stone surfaces to create large pools in order to hold water, while others were flowing near the soil patches and around them so that they could have an easier time farming. Once it was all done, they were asked for another feast to thank them for all that they did for them yet again, as they couldn't really refuse their courtesy. Sitting down, they began to eat. Toga looking at the food somewhat hesitant, considering some of it was still moving. Izuku laughed, stating it's okay. You get used to the alien food. He states, well, Rhea and the others, they had to help me out with my work. And part of that meant staying away from any meat. So, for time, I had to be vegetarian. And they helped me get used to it little by little. But nowadays, I eat very little meat, like the bare minimum. As Razor asked about what she meant by quirk, not knowing that some people needed quirk therapy. She explained her quirk and how she was shunned by it. Razor scoffed, stating, "Huh, ignorant fools. Judging someone for something they were born with, something that they themselves could not change, and they decide to look down on you? They were fools to do so. That is a part of you, and deciding not to help you with that part and the struggles that come with it shows their inaccurate, their complete and utter ineptitude as your caretakers." He smirked at Razor as he states thanks, grabbing one of the food that was wiggling, wondering how do I eat this. Hizuku bumps her a little bit and shows her. See the head? Showing off the small head of the wiggling food, as he shows that you have to have it facing head first when you eat it so that it knows where to go, making it easier and doing most of the work. Toga is shocked by how used to this he seems to be, gulping as he does so, taking the food in and eating it. He finds that it doesn't taste that bad, actually, though I don't think I'll ever get used to that feeling of having your own food doing most of the work traveling to your stomach for you. Hizuku laughed, stating, "It was weird to get used to for me as well." As the chief got everyone's attention, remarking about their saviors from the disaster of those beasts that attacked their village, as well as giving them the gift not only to help survive but prosper better than what they did. And a toast to the young man who saved them the first time, and the young miss who has partnered with him, as they begin to blast with the crowd cheering. As he states, "Are aliens normally like this?" With Aya asking, "Are you not accustomed to this yet? I thought you were living on an alien planet." Razor reminding her her current home is on the Violet Lantern planet, as she realizes that that planet is basically an Amazon planet of all women. Hence, well, the fact that more or less the entire Violet Lantern Corps are women. Stating, "Ah, that is correct. I see." As they celebrated and drank, Izuku's ring went off as it was getting close to where he'd have to get home, excusing himself, stating that he had to head home to his family, with Razor and Ayas telling them goodbye as they flew off. With that, Toga states, "That was pretty amazing. And those guys' fur was so fluffy." Izuku laughing at Toga's amusement of this, as they split off, with Toga going back to the Violet Lantern's home, and Izuku heading back to Earth to his own home. Upon landing, he sighs and just is in full relief as he sees a package on his doorstep with his name on it. The package came with a letter stating to Izuku from All Might and Hal. He goes into his house, opening it up in his room after saying hello to his mom and eating. As he opens it up, seeing a blue bracelet, he digs in, finding another one. As there was a second note inside, a letter. As he opened it up, it was written in 2 hands, stating, "Dear Izuku, this part is from me, All Might. First off, I saw what you did during the fitness exam. It made me think of something an acquaintance of mine made for me. But since I could control all one for all from the start, I didn't really need it. However, what you created to brace your body to use more of one for all made me think. So I called Hal and sent a message to my acquaintance, and he went go grab the object I was thinking of. He ended up taking it into space then. Not sure what happened then." As the letter then trails off to Hal's section. "Hey kid, so I grabbed the little bracelet thing, brought it up into space, found some science buddies of mine, and gave them a rundown of what I needed it for. They were interested in it, finding it interesting that this was supposed to be a brace to keep somebody from destroying their own body from a power that they had inside themselves. Finding it fascinating and getting to work. Now don't ask me what it's made out of, I got no clue. I also told him to change the red into blue. Looking at it, he puts them on and then activates them, creating blue wraps around his arms and hands, looking like martial art wrappings. He grabbed the note again, and it continued, "These should last, like, forever, and they should help out, though they only protect your arms, or at least from your hands to your elbows. No clue what would happen if you tried using your legs or something, so be careful." As he smirked. As for Toga, as she got home, Rhea welcomed her. As he smirked, stating thanks, and he was telling her everything about her day at UA and the mission she went on with Izuku to help with the relief from the village that he helped save, along with Razor and a Green Lantern named Kilowog. So she didn't get to meet this Kilowog, wondering what he looks like. As he also remembered something. Before she actually left UA, Midnight came up to her to hand her a letter. Grabbing it, she handed it over to Rhea. As Toga explained, apparently UA assigned Miss Midnight to help keep a watch over me due to my living conditions not being on Earth. They thought, given where I live, that a female teacher would be best to deal with it. So, yeah. She also helped out with with my uniform. As she smirked, Rhea opened up the letter, getting a bit of a rundown of the details and such, and some information for contact in regards to Midnight if needed. Explaining that, due to the circumstances, she will will more or less be the parent in any parent-teacher conference, meeting, or etc. in the future. And that Midnight would be conducting the meetings. UA doesn't know a lot about how the Violet Lantern Corps works, so they're taking it safe and such. Rhea smirked, asking what this Midnight Lady was like. Toga creating a light construct of her. Rhea just laughed, stating, well, she seems to have some taste. As Toga just kind of laughed, stating, yeah, her own tastes, which sometimes make her a little scary. As the day ended, each of them were glad that they had a good day. Back on Earth, however, there we see Toga's father looking over some papers that an associate of his gave him that stated that his picked out daughter that he believed to be a villain, a monster, somehow got into UA. Crumpling it up, he tosses it away, stating, how? How did this happen? He knew, due to the fact that he was in the political business of a politician, that if it got out that he kicked out his daughter, who he claimed had a villainous and monstrous quirk, got into UA after he booted them out of his house, and still somehow found a way to become a UA student in the hero course, no less. This could damage his career, as he just sighs, remarking, who am I kidding? This could possibly end my career. The way the public sees me. Tries to think, remarking, I have to find her and bring her back. As he looks with an angry look in his eye. Toga's mom, hearing this, he remarks, please be safe. Please, you can. Don't come back. I know that you won't be happy. As he tears up a bit. He always regretted how she sometimes treated her daughter, out of fear. As just walked away from her husband's office. And this is where we'll be ending this What If for right now. Do hope you have enjoyed. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys later.